So what's good? Welcome back to Neka's Tea Talks, aka Neka's News. I am your girl, Neka. First off, I'm going to go ahead and say I apologize for not posting any content. It has been months, probably like 3 months since your girl has posted on this channel. I have been so proactive on Neka Bowers, my personal channel. Go on over if you have not subscribed. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, and of course, watch. Okay? But anyway, let's get on into this channel. So before I proceed, make sure you pay attention to the legal disclaimer that I'm going to show you in a minute. I don't own any rights to anything you see here. Pictures, videos, anything that you see, I don't own the rights to. Okay? Read it. All right, so today I'm going to talk about 3 cases, 3 faces, 3 similar situations. Okay? So before I get into it, I'm going to just do a little bit of background real quick. So, I have been seeing a lot of posts about kids dying because they were left in hot cars. Like, this really stuck out to me because literally a couple days ago, I was recording on my personal channel about having to leave my keys in the car for 10 minutes while pumping gas because I don't like pumping gas with the car running. They always tell you turn off the engines. And of course, I don't roll down the windows because my kids is always sticking their hands out the window, their head, anything out the window. And then the gas fumes could come through the window, you know. So there's always this and this and this and this and why you don't do this, why you don't do that. But I did at least, I opened up the opposite door because my daughter was with me. My son was not. Well, I've had different situations where they both was with me or where the one was with me. But anyway, this particular day, my daughter was with me only. And I needed gas. So I opened up the other side door so she could get some air. You know, I didn't open up her door where I was pumping the gas. I opened up the opposite door. But anyway, this hit me because they claim people have memory lapses. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to justify that it ain't true or anything like that because people do have memory lapses. You know what I mean? Anything could trigger you. You totally forgot you had a kid in the back seat. Now, I'm always talking about how my kids are always crying, my daughter especially, which is the truth. But sometimes it's kind of good that she cried the way she cried because she gonna let you know she in that car. She gonna let you know somebody back here. Okay? And even for my son, he gonna let you, somebody back here. And I'm kind of happy that they do. You know, they alert me. They keep me going. I'm constantly looking in my rearview mirror. I'm constantly checking them. And the way my car is made, how could I not know you in the backseat of my car? There ain't no way for me not to know you back there. There ain't no way. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So my first case here is dealing with Miss Vanessa. I got 3 cases and I'm going to just tell you their names because I'm going to go ahead and show you their face and I'm going to read you some information about them so you can kind of just get a basic summary, okay? So the first one is Miss Vanessa. I'm not even going to attempt her last name. Don't even know how to say it. The second case is Miss Linda Stevens. The third case is Miss Hope Jones. So let's go ahead and start with case 1. All right, so let's talk about it. So this is Miss Vanessa, who resides in Frisco, Texas. So what happened is, on August the 16th of 25, 27-year-old Vanessa left her 15-month-old strapped inside her vehicle outside of the spa where she worked in Frisco, Texas. Investigators said she knowingly left him in the car because she could not find childcare. Temperatures were at least 95 degrees and the vehicle's air conditioning was not working. The child remained inside for more than 2 hours. So what happened afterwards? After finishing work, she found her son unresponsive. Investigators said she stopped at McDonald's before taking him to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police said evidence showed that she intentionally left him in the vehicle. A jury convicted her of murder, and in July of 26, she was sentenced to 25 years in prison. So that's crazy. So pretty much this case raises questions about desperation, child care access, and personal responsibilities. Prosecutors argue that no lack of child care justifies knowingly leaving a child in a hot car. So let's get to the video.
Who left her infant in a hot car alone to die, tried to cover up what happened. 27-year-old Vanessa Esquivel is charged with murder. Police say she claimed she was driving around with her son all day, but evidence shows she went to work while her baby was left in her SUV. And police say before she took the child to the hospital in distress, she stopped to get some fast food. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager obtained an arrest paperwork and warrant. Joining us now with details live in Dallas. Peyton.
Steve, and we have some disturbing new details for you guys tonight. Also, that mother was in a Collin County courtroom today. Earlier this morning, her attorney requested that her bond be lower, but that request was ultimately denied. So the mother, she remains in the Collin County jail. She's charged with first-degree murder, and her bond remains at $250,000. New details reveal 27-year-old Vanessa Esquivel of Dallas tried to cover up her child's hot car death, and on her way to the emergency room, she even stopped by a McDonald's. On August 16th, investigators say Esquivel brought her 15-month-old son to Medical City Plano. Medical staff there told responding officers the child was already dead upon arrival and had a core temperature of 106 degrees. According to a newly obtained arrest affidavit, Esquivel told police she'd been with her son all day and denied going to work, despite wearing a spa uniform at the hospital. Detectives learned Esquivel's story was a lie. Her employment, Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa in Frisco, was contacted. Officers determined Esquivel worked from 1:45 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. that day. An August day where temperatures topped out at 95 degrees. During those 2.5 hours, police say the child was left alone inside a Nissan Pathfinder. Surveillance footage also confirmed that timeline, catching Esquivel coming and going from her workplace. Investigators also found disturbing evidence Esquivel ordered food at a North Dallas McDonald's before taking her son to the hospital. On August 17th, detectives obtained a recorded call where Esquivel called the Frisco Spa and admitted it was all her fault to a fellow employee, saying she was between a rock and a hard place and couldn't find childcare. Police say Esquivel then asked the employee not to leak the phone conversation.
All right, so let's go ahead and get to case 2. All right, so let's get into it. The second case is about a foster grandmother who reside in Putnam County, Tennessee. So what happened is, in April of 2026, 69-year-old foster grandmother Ms. Linda Stevens, she intended to drop a 7-month-old foster infant at daycare before reporting to work at the Monterey Library. Instead, she drove directly to work and forgot the infant was still buckled in the back seat. The baby remained in the vehicle for nearly 8 hours. So how was the child discovered? Later that afternoon, another family member asked where the baby was. Stevens returned to her vehicle and found the infant unresponsive. Emergency responders could not save the child. Authorities later charged Stevens with criminally negligent homicide. So this right here is a case of pretty much forgotten baby syndrome. So let's get on to the video.
Community is devastated after a 7-month-old baby died in a hot car outside a library.
WSMV's Diana Rocco is in Monterey tonight with the very latest.
All right, Pumpkin.
The guilt alone.
The heartbreak is unimaginable for Crystal and Zach Worth, new parents who say at times they can fear the worst.
I'm always constantly checking my back seat. Like, I have a little camera so I can always see what he's doing.
As parents, you almost have nightmares about it every once in a while.
Just before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, police, fire, and EMS were called to the Monterey Town Library for a child unresponsive, left inside a hot car. WSMV has learned from the DA's office the child was in the care of a foster grandmother at the time. The Putnam County Sheriff is now investigating and says the child was likely in the hot car for hours with the car off and the windows rolled up.
It breaks your heart, because as a parent, it's always your kid that you're thinking about. So I can only imagine what they're going through right now.
The town library will remain closed through tomorrow. The Putnam County Sheriff is reminding everyone as temperatures rise to always check vehicles, saying a simple check can save a child's life.
It's generally and usually a completely innocent mistake, especially if they're sleeping. You have no idea. Very quiet.
Authorities have not yet released the name of the victim here. The Putnam County District Attorney says this investigation could take quite some time, and it is not clear if charges will be filed. In Monterey, I'm Diana Rocco, WSMV.
Okay, so this is the last and final case, case 3. So this is the third and final case, and this one hits a little bit differently because this is about a daycare owner. You trust these daycare owners to take care of your kids and be sufficient in what they're doing. Anyway, so Miss Hope Jones, who is 62, what happened is in July of 26, investigators say Hope Jones, 62-year-old owner of Hope Academy Daycare in Little Rock, she picked up an infant from home that morning and drove the child to the daycare. Police allege she never removed the infant from the vehicle after arriving. The child remained inside the vehicle for approximately 8 hours while the daycare continued operating. So investigative findings, what did they find? According to investigators, Jones allegedly entered the vehicle during the day, but still failed to realize the infant remained inside. Police also allege she failed to notice the infant was absent during attendance checks. She was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and has pleaded not guilty. The investigation is ongoing. So, what do you think about this particular case here? So, I'm going to go ahead and show you the video real quick and let's get to it. So now before I show you the video, I want to ask you a question. So this case has drawn intense public attention because it involves a licensed daycare owner, someone parents trust to protect their children. Many have questioned how attendance, procedures failed to alert staff that the infant was never brought inside. If you have a question or you think, okay, did this child come today? Maybe I would call the mama to make sure the baby wasn't supposed to be here, or they, not here, or did they come? What's going on? Let the parent know. Let me just figure it out, but they didn't do that. And it's just crazy how these kids are losing their life. Anyway, let's get to the video.
Tonight, a Little Rock daycare owner charged with second-degree murder is out on bond after investigators say an infant was left in a hot car for several hours Wednesday. THV 11's Tanya Motorzitsky is live outside Hope Academy and brings us more details and how these tragedies can be prevented. Tanya?
Well, Brooke, my mama heart breaks today hearing this story, and I'm actually across the street from the daycare, and it was open today. It actually just closed. All the employees and last few kids left just a few minutes ago, but I did speak with child safety advocates who did give me a point. I'm going to walk you through that here. They said they want you to keep an animal, a stuffed animal of some sort, in the back seat like this one, and when you go to buckle your child up or put the infant carrier in there, that's when you take this and bring it with you to the front seat. That way, when you sit down and you leave it in your lap, you use it as a reminder that you have a child in the back seat to avoid any instances like this.
Little Rock police say what began as a routine morning ended in tragedy. According to police reports, 62-year-old Hope Jones picked the infant up from the child's foster mother just before 6:30 Wednesday morning to bring the baby to the daycare she owns, Hope Academy. But investigators say the child was never taken out of the vehicle and left inside for 8 hours before Jones discovered the baby was unresponsive. According to reports with the Arkansas Department of Education that also oversees daycares, Hope Academy has had 0 violations in the past year. But as the criminal case moves forward, child safety advocates say these cases often have one thing in common.
We want people to just be extra cautious anytime there's changes in the routine. That's a really big contributing factor. Doesn't have to be anything major. It could be something as small as taking a different route or switching the order that you're dropping kids off. Those just little things can lead to a loss of awareness and a missed drop off.
Amber Rowlands with Kids and Car Safety says incidents like this continue to happen with increased awareness, and says it's easy to get distracted and forget a sleeping baby in the back seat while the caregiver is in autopilot mode.
And this is something that nobody thinks is going to happen to them. And every year we lose nearly 40 babies in hot cars.
Rowland says cars act as a greenhouse and heat up fast, especially the first 10 minutes. And it doesn't need to be 90 degrees outside. Even at 60 degrees, it can take just minutes before you get a heat stroke. And for babies, she adds, their body temperature raises faster than adults. Rowlands is advocating for more laws and procedures.
Childcare facilities, there needs to be policies in place that, check and double check and have multiple people checking children on and off vehicles when they're being transported.
And for families to create best practices.
To look before you lock. That means open the back door, check the back seat every single time you leave your vehicle, even if you don't have the children with you.
Rowlands is out on a $15,000 bond tonight, and her next court appearance is September 9th at 9 a.m. Live in Little Rock, Tanya Motorzitsky.
So now pretty much that you've heard a little bit about each case, let's break it down. So pretty much all 3 children died in hot vehicles, but each case is different. So one parent intentionally left their child in the hot car. They didn't have child care, daycare. Now let's talk about her real quick. Now, I personally have ran into issues where I didn't have daycare. Me, I just took off from work. Told them I couldn't come in. I mean, it hurt me financially, yes. And it hurt me when it comes to being reliable, dependable, yes. I mean, it made me broke, yes, because I didn't have no income. But I was not going to take the risk of leaving my child in a hot car to come back to have no child. And one good thing about my kid's father, he helps me the best way he can. We compromise. I work part-time, meaning I don't get no benefits. I don't have PTO. He gets PTO. He has benefits. So sometimes, now I can't do this all the time. I can't expect him to take off 3, 4, 5 days a week because I'm trying to go to work. We have to figure it out. So recently, due to my kid's daycare being closed, he did take off 3 days for me, which helped me out a lot because I didn't have no other daycare arrangements besides the father. So he helped me out. And that's a compromise that we are able to do. But her situation, we don't know if there was a spouse involved. She might not have had a boyfriend. Maybe the baby daddy is not in their life. Maybe he's passed on. Any situation. We don't know. But she wanted to go to work for a few hours, so she left the baby in the car. But then the crazy thing is, you left your kid in the car. Why in the F did you go to McDonald's? That's what I want to know. You stopped to go to McDonald's first before taking him to the hospital? She got 25 years in prison. Probably well deserved. Well deserved. Anyway, the second case deals with a caregiver, they say, forgotten baby syndrome. Now, she was 69. She looked like she might have some memory issues. She picked up this 7-month-old baby and never took the baby in because she literally forgot the baby was in the car. Now, a lot of people say when your routine changes, that kind of throws a loophole. Maybe this is something she don't normally do all the time. She was a foster grandmother. So maybe this is something she don't typically do all the time. And it just threw her routine off, and she just was used to driving herself to work, getting on out and doing what she got to do. And a lot of times when people go to lunch, they don't actually walk outside the building to get in their car, drive somewhere. They actually stay in the building all day. Maybe they just don't have the money or the funds to go eat out, so they just maybe take a lunch to work or anything like that. Maybe she never came back to the car. I don't know. But for her situation, it wasn't considered intentional. It was actually considered an accident. So I don't think officially she's been charged, yeah, but I believe it was kind of like, it wasn't the same charge as the first girl with the 25 years. So they're just trying to investigate if this was an accident or she literally forgot. I mean, and then when you look at her picture, she looks really old. I mean, she might have been suffering from some memory loss. Who knows? But that don't justify the fact that 7-month-old baby is dead. That don't justify that. Because you can't get that baby back. So now this third case here, this is the one that makes you want to be like, wow. Okay, you are a daycare owner. This should not be out of your routine. Not if you already be picking up kids on a daily. Now, if this was something you did temporarily, you picked up this 15-month-old baby one time and you literally got out and forgot the baby was back there, that's poor judgment on your part because you're the daycare owner. Don't y'all have other policies where you have an actual bus or van that picks these kids up, not you personally doing it yourself? You went into work as if nothing happened, as if you never brought anybody with you. You went back out to your vehicle several times throughout the day and still didn't know the baby was back there until you decided to show a coworker your vehicle. And that's something I didn't mention in my summary. So she went back out to the car or the truck or whatever she was driving to show a coworker something. And then I guess she realized, oh my God, I have a baby in my car. The baby is dead. After freaking 8 hours plus in a hot car, the baby probably was dead after an hour. Like, she pled not guilty. You're guilty because the baby dead and the baby was in your custody. You're guilty. Even if you forgot, you're guilty because the baby was with you. This lady can't get her baby back. They can't get their kids back. So all these people who lost kids, you're guilty because these kids can't come back. Now, I tell you, when it comes to my daycare provider, I'm still scared when it comes to drop my kids off. I am. And they even got a freaking pool party in a couple days that I just paid for that I'm still scared because they supposed to be taking them to some type of pool, but it's an actual swimming school where they supposed to be certified, you know, whatever you call them. The people who's watching you, what do they call them? My mind just went blank. Anyway, lifeguards. There we go. My mind completely went blank. But they supposed to have lifeguards there, and I'm hesitant on even having my son there because anything could happen. I don't want them to forget that the boy's there, forget to put him back on the bus, leave my child somewhere. He's stranded out here all alone. Like, I'm scared sitting here talking about it that I'm so debating right now, telling her he ain't going. You better leave him at that daycare. He ain't going. He ain't going. But I don't want him not to go and have fun. But I'm always texting these daycare teachers, letting them know when my kids going to be at daycare, when they ain't going to be at daycare. So you don't make a mistake and say, I didn't think he was coming. I told you he was coming. I text your phone he was there. And I be calling throughout the day. Sometimes, I haven't done that lately. But in the very beginning, when I first started this daycare, I be calling, checking on them. They okay? How my kids doing? They good? You know, my kids was dropped off today. And then they should know they was dropped off because I be dropping off diapers, dropping off clothes. They got bags full of stuff. They should know they were there. They came in with a bunch of stuff this morning. So I don't know how they do their whole attendance policy. If they check off every day, okay, this kid was here, that kid was here, this kid won't here. You know, I don't know how they do it, but so far I haven't had no issues. But I'm just saying, for a daycare owner, this is not acceptable. It's not. It's not. And then for a foster grandmother at that, like, you're a foster grandmother and you literally kill this 7-month-old baby. What good are you, lady? And, you know, for somebody to intentionally kill their child, you deserve to be behind bars. But it's crazy. So now my question to you is, Should all three face the same level of criminal punishment? Or should the law treat these situations differently? Now, I personally do feel like all three situations should be treated differently because they're similar in a way because a baby died, but they are different in their own way. Now, for the first case, she got 25 years. That's a long time, but hey, you do the crime, you do the time. Check, legit. Case 2, this could be a case of it was accidental. It was not intentional at all. She really honestly forgot. Maybe they could be a little bit lenient on her, but she should do some time. It might not need to be no 25 years, but maybe 7-8 years or something. But some people might feel like that's not enough because 7-8 years, I lost my child, and you get 7-8 years. So I don't know how the law would handle that. And then for the third, the daycare owner, you're going to lose your business behind this. Yes. And I would say I wouldn't say 7-8 years for you. You might need to get longer, boo-boo, because you're the owner. And I trust my kid to be at your business. And my kid died in your truck. You're guilty. So I don't know how the law will go with this one either, because maybe they all need to get 25 years of life. So you tell me. Go ahead and comment down below what you think. How would you treat these cases? Now, of course, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. But of course, the first case, she was already proven guilty. And I guess with the second 2 cases, we have to wait to find out. But how would you treat this case? What do you think is appropriate? Go ahead and comment down below. And guys, I definitely hope you like the Tea Talk for today. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you are not already subscribed. Make sure you go on over to Neka Bowers and subscribe as well. But guys, thank you so much. Take it easy, and I is being real. Peace out. Yeah.